It was a cold, moonless night in rural Ohio when James Carter, an aggressive and volatile man in his late 30s, found himself behind the wheel of his black Mustang. His temper had been simmering all day. Work stress, traffic delays, and a missed dinner reservation with friends had pushed him to the edge. As he sped down the desolate highway, his knuckles gripped the steering wheel like talons, his jaw clenched so tightly it ached. Ahead of him, a slow-moving sedan crawled along the road. The elderly driver seemed oblivious to the world around her, inching forward at what felt like a snail's pace to James. He honked once, twice, 3 times, each blast louder than the last, but the car didn't budge out of his way. Frustration boiled over into rage. "Move!" he screamed into the empty cabin of his car, veins bulging on his forehead. Without thinking, he floored the accelerator and rammed the back bumper of the sedan with his speeding Mustang. The impact jolted both vehicles, but James didn't stop. Instead, he kept driving, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he glanced in his rearview mirror. Through the dim light, he saw the silhouette of an elderly woman struggling to regain control of her car. Her hands trembled on the wheel as she tried to brake, but her vehicle swerved dangerously close to the guardrail. James smirked cruelly. "Serves you right," he muttered under his breath before pressing harder on the gas pedal. But as he drove further, unease began to creep in. He noticed something strange. The sedan wasn't following him anymore. In fact, there were no headlights visible in his mirrors at all. A chill ran down his spine despite the warmth inside the car. He slowed down slightly, scanning the dark road behind him. Nothing. Just endless stretches of asphalt swallowed by shadows. For a moment, guilt flickered in his chest, but he quickly shoved it aside. "She'll be fine," he told himself. "People survive fender benders every day, but life has a way of punishing those who refuse accountability." 2 days after the incident, James started noticing odd things. It began with small, seemingly insignificant occurrences. A faint tapping sound on his bedroom window late at night, though no branches or debris could explain it. The scent of burning rubber lingering in his car even after he cleaned it thoroughly, and the feeling of being watched whenever he stepped outside. At first, he dismissed these as figments of his imagination, stress-induced paranoia from working too hard. But then came the dreams. Vivid, horrifying nightmares that always followed the same pattern. He would relive the crash, only this time, the elderly woman turned to face him. Her eyes glowed white, devoid of pupils, and her mouth stretched unnaturally wide as she whispered words he couldn't understand. Each dream ended with her reaching toward him, her skeletal fingers brushing against his cheek just before he woke up drenched in sweat. One evening, while driving home from work, James spotted a pair of headlights in his rearview mirror. They belonged to a familiar-looking sedan, a silver Toyota Camry. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be the same car? No, it couldn't be. That woman must have totaled her vehicle after losing control. Still, the resemblance was uncanny. As he accelerated, trying to put distance between himself and the car, the sedan matched his speed perfectly. Panic set in when he realized it was gaining on him, inch by inch. He swerved off the main road onto a narrow dirt path, hoping to lose the mysterious pursuer. But the Camry followed relentlessly, its headlights growing brighter until they illuminated his entire car like floodlights. Suddenly, the engine of the sedan roared deafeningly loud, drowning out everything else. James slammed on the brakes, skidding to a halt. When he looked back, the Camry was gone. There was nothing but darkness and silence. Over the next few weeks, the haunting intensified. Objects in his house moved inexplicably, a chair pulled away from the table, a photograph falling off the wall without cause. One night, as he sat alone in his living room watching TV, the screen flickered and displayed static for several seconds. When the picture returned, it showed footage of the highway where the accident occurred. The camera angle appeared to come from inside the sedan, capturing the moment James rammed into it. Then, the feed cut to the elderly woman's face, bloodied and pale, staring directly at him through the screen. Terrified, James threw the remote at the television, shattering the glass. Yet the image remained burned into his mind, Desperate for answers, he visited the local police station to inquire about accidents on that stretch of road. To his horror, they confirmed that a fatal collision involving a silver Camry had indeed taken place 2 nights ago, the very night of the incident. An elderly woman named Margaret Hensley had lost control of her car, crashed into a tree, and died instantly. Witnesses reported seeing another vehicle speeding away from the scene. Guilt gnawed at James, but fear consumed him more. Every creak of the floorboards, every shadow in the corner of his eye, reminded him of Margaret. He became convinced her ghost was haunting him, seeking revenge for her untimely death. One stormy night, unable to sleep, James decided to confront his fears head-on. Armed with a flashlight and trembling hands, he drove back to the site of the accident. Rain lashed against his windshield as lightning illuminated the desolate landscape. Pulling over near the spot where the crash had occurred, he stepped out of his car and called out into the void. "Margaret, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you." His voice cracked under the weight of his confession. "I was angry, reckless. I shouldn't have done it. Please forgive me." For a long moment, there was only silence, broken by the howling wind. Then a soft whisper reached his ears. "You're wrong." James froze. Turning slowly, he saw her standing there, the elderly woman from the Camry. Her face was pale, her hair matted with rain, and her glowing white eyes pierced through him like daggers. "I'm not Margaret," she said, her voice echoing unnaturally. "I'm your mother." Time stopped. James staggered backward, his mind reeling. His mother had passed away 5 years ago in a car accident eerily similar to the one he caused. She had been driving home during a storm when another reckless driver hit her vehicle, sending it careening off the road. "You took my life," she continued, advancing toward him. "And now, you've taken hers. You're cursed, James. Cursed to live forever knowing the pain you've inflicted." Before he could respond, the ground beneath him gave way, swallowing him whole. Darkness enveloped him, and he heard her final words echo in his ears. "This is your reckoning." Weeks later, authorities discovered James's abandoned Mustang at the bottom of a ravine near the crash site. Inside, they found his phone, which contained frantic voicemails left in the hours leading up to his disappearance. None of them made sense. Ramblings about ghosts, curses, and a woman who wasn't Margaret. To this day, locals claim to see a black Mustang racing down the highway late at night, its driver screaming apologies to no one. And sometimes, if you listen closely, you can hear the faint sound of a woman laughing, a chilling reminder that karma always finds its mark.